This morning, pickets will be going up in the Kent School District instead of those students going back to class. This was supposed to be the first day of school, but the district and the teachers union failed to come to an agreement on a new contract. KOMO's Theron Zahn joins us now live in Kent with what parents need to know. Theron?
Yeah, right now this morning it appears the district and its teachers are far apart in negotiations, nowhere near coming to an agreement. And now this was supposed to be the first day of school, so parents are scrambling to figure out what to do about childcare and other services for their children. Pickets were up before a school board meeting last night. This is video of that. The superintendent also briefly addressed the issue during that meeting, saying their goal is to find, quote, a mutually agreeable solution. Now, teachers are demanding better pay, smaller class sizes, and say the district needs to step up in other ways, too.
We're looking for all those wraparound support services that we know that our students need, like counseling, mental health supports.
Well, according to the Washington Policy Center, in 2022, the average teacher pay and benefits in the Kent School District come to more than $124,000 a year. And they say last year enrollment actually fell by 642 students. Now, parents need to know this morning there will be no meal services until school starts back up. And we're told all elementary and middle school activities are postponed until further notice. But the district says all high school sports activities will continue. Again, we haven't had an official statement from the school district yet, other than what was said last night at that meeting. But starting out today, the first day of the strike, what was supposed to be the first day of school.
It's such a problem that they actually had to postpone not one, but two domestic violence related cases.
It's a weekly concern of ours.
Jury duty deadbeats. Every week in Marysville Municipal Court, the same thing. Jury summons go out, but jurors don't show up.
I think it affects the community as well. You know, the community has an expectation that we're moving cases through our judicial system, and we're not if we don't have enough jurors.
Court Administrator Suzanne Elsner says already this year, two domestic violence cases had to be postponed because potential jurors did not respond, making it impossible to seat a jury panel. They need 6 and 1 alternate, but even more for voir dire, the system to identify fair and impartial jurors.
Now you're again affecting victims and their families, having to wait further.
For a trial scheduled for next week in Marysville Municipal Court, 55 jury summons went out. So far, only 15 responses.
This morning, I just sent out 18 reminder letters for citizens who have not responded to their jury summons.
What happened?
I just couldn't make it at that time, but not saying I wouldn't go, because I would go.
I think that it's something that you definitely have to do your part in our society.
I think I'm comfortable with doing it.
We're going to keep summoning them until we get them to come to court.
While other municipal courts reportedly are having the same issue, at neighboring Snohomish County Superior Court in Everett, they're seating jury panels.
I think that there's a perception that Superior Court and what they do might be a little more important than what your local municipal court does.
Michelle Esteban, KOMO News.
There are people that are already criminals that are getting released. That's the part that's got to stop.
And now at 6, we're learning that a repeat offender who was out on bond has been arrested in the brutal murders of a beloved couple in Kitsap County.
Deputies say Sean Rose is charged with murder and burglary. Investigators believe this was a random crime. KOMO's Tammy Mutas is live with the reaction from the Olala community, as well as the suspect's criminal history. Tammy?
Mary, and this couple touched a lot of people's lives in this community. You can just imagine how shaken up they still are. And even though this repeat offender is now in custody, they still want to know why this couple.
It's just completely senseless. It's a tragedy.
A memorial of kind words and flowers, now marking a couple's dream that was brutally cut short. Steve and Mina Schultz were just a month away from opening East to West Brewery, a goal they had after growing their popular business on the side. But deputies found the beloved couple violently murdered last Thursday. Their daughter had gone to check on them and found blood and signs of a forced entry.
It's been very difficult to sleep over it because it's just so shocking and just so devastating that something like this could happen.
Stuart Chisholm was expecting to see his dear friends the next day.
They were great people. Steve was a wonderful guy, full of humor, Mina the same, loving couple, and they loved each other dearly. They were very much in love. That was crystal clear.
Now 40-year-old Sean Rose has been arrested in the murders. Sunday, he was spotted in Mason County driving a stolen car. Deputies started chasing him, but called it off when his driving got too dangerous. It took deputies from 3 counties and KOMO police to finally get him into custody.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, which makes it even more satisfying for us to find this person and hold him accountable the best we can.
According to Rose's rap sheet, he's a serial burglar with 5 past felony convictions. Court records show Rose was due in court 8 days before the murders. He had been released on bond after being charged with stealing 12 guns last year, but he never showed up.
He shouldn't be out again. He shouldn't get out again. And 2 people that we love are dead because of him and because of the way the system's set up right now.
Now a community is left mourning a veteran who met his wife in Japan while serving in the Air Force. A 30-year marriage ended with violence that's left the community asking why.
He deserves to go to jail for the rest of his life. That's how I feel about him.
Like the rest of the country, cases of monkeypox in our state continue to grow. The latest total from the state health department shows 373 cases of monkeypox here. That is 40 more than the previous update, which happened on Thursday. The overwhelming majority of cases in our state are in King County at 308. Pierce County has the second highest total, just 25.
Monkeypox is on the minds of some parents as they get ready to send their kids back to school over the next couple of weeks. King County is now operating under a public health emergency as cases continue to rise here. KOMO's Hannah Knowles shares some advice from pediatricians about dealing with the threat.
It's back to school for students in Washington, and this year, parents are on high alert, yet again, to protect their children's health.
It's a relatively new thing. Right now, compared to COVID, for example, the numbers are relatively small, but they are increasing at a fairly strikingly rapid rate.
John Dunn, a medical director at Kaiser Permanente, says although new and scary, it's important for parents to be aware.
Right now, the most important things for parents to know is, of course, if you see anything in your child that actually suggests a monkeypox rash, that's something to contact your provider about, and they will be able to tell you exactly where they want you to go and what they want you to do.
On August 18th, the state health department announced the first pediatric case of monkeypox in Washington. The patient is 17 years old.
We're going to be seeing a whole lot more of it, in particular in the greater Seattle and Puget Sound area.
Nationwide, there's more than 14,000 confirmed cases. Here in Washington, more than 330.
We're sort of dealing with an outbreak on top of the pandemic.
Elizabeth Mead, the medical director for pediatrics at Swedish Hospital, says early symptoms are similar to COVID-19 or the flu.
And we don't anticipate that kids are going to be at particularly high risk of getting the disease.
Here's what parents should watch for when it comes to monkeypox: fever, headache, muscle aches, fatigue, and a rash.
And we don't anticipate that school settings are going to be sort of spreading it the way that we think about with COVID or flu. But for most viruses and bacterial infections, young kids are more at risk. And so that alert from the CDC really is just to say, if a child under the age of 8 were to contract monkeypox, then we want to pay particular attention to them and make sure that we're monitoring them very closely for any complications.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.